Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another episode of What's in the Press. This week we're going to change things up a little bit. I'm not going to segue over to my display screen. I'm just going to do things just like this. I'm going to stay right here and show you the books. We'll see how that goes, okay? Anyways, this week we have a lot of modern age goodness to go through, so let's get started. First of all, we're going to look at some books from Pete out of Ajax. Now, you may have seen some of Pete's books already. If you follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, I showed off a whole slew of those Star Wars 42 Boba Fett covers. Those are Pete's books. We also have, Pete also, if you're going to have Star Wars 42, why not have also a nice copy of Star Wars #1? Pete also submits copies of Star Wars #2. I'm going to try to angle that so there's as little glare as possible. There's actually 2 copies of Star Wars #2 in there, so those are fantastic. Thank you, Pete. Yes, Ultimate Fallout #4, my friends. This sucker has been garnering some crazy record high prices for eBay sales and different various auctions. Anyways, Ultimate Fallout #4 featuring the first appearance of Miles Morales. This one here, I think if I angle it just right, yeah, there you go. If you look right in the middle of the book, you see a crease going right down the middle. This book is notorious for having that I don't know if it's a subscription crease or what have you, but anyhow, with a good press, that crease will go away. In fact, I've pressed this book, I don't know how many, hundreds of times, and more times than not, the book comes back 9/8. So yes, that problem can be fixed with a good press. Next, we have an ASM 361, which is no stranger here on What's in the Press. We see this book quite frequently. Also, we see very frequently the Avengers Annual #10 with the first appearance of Rogue. This sucker's been going up as well, and I think everything's been going up, hasn't it? Look at that, a Moon Knight #1, just in time for the Disney Plus series starring Oscar Isaac. Let's get that glare off. That's a nice copy right there. Oh, these two are really nice, actually. Pete submits 2 copies of Moon Knight 29. Nice black cover, and this one, if I look carefully, yeah, that looks beautiful. The spine looks fantastic, so I'm really eager to see how that turns out. I want to handle them very carefully because they don't have any backboards, which I don't recommend or advise. Anyhow, really nice copies. And finally, Pete submits a copy of The Killing Joke. This one here is a first printing. We know that from the green coloring there, neon green, and also a copy of The Dark Knight. Now, these comic books are very different than the ones I just showed you, right? There's no staples in these books, and these ones are glued. Also, what's different about these is the cardstock cover. So, will these press out as well as the regular old comic book? It depends. Some of the problems that you find in these books will press out. That being said, you do run a bit of a risk, and I'll tell you why. Again, there's no staples. There's glue that pretty much binds these comics together. And because of that glue, when you add heat, when you put the book in the press, what can happen, and oftentimes does happen, is the glue reactivates. And with enough pressure, the glue will ooze out of the book. So you got to be really careful. And you also got to pretty much weigh the pros and cons. If the book is in dire need of a press for various reasons, then you will proceed and do the press. That being said, I have not inspected these guys yet. I haven't taken them out of the sleeve. So when I inspect a book, I'll determine whether or not a press is a wise move or not, and we'll go from there. Anyways, thank you so much, Pete, for your submission, and we move right on along to who we're going to do next. Let's have a look at Jeremy's books, and Jeremy comes to us from Ottawa. A nice copy of Venom #3. I told you, modern books this week. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, #1, another really popular book. I love this cover here. Is it Detective or Batman? I always get mixed up. Yeah, Detective Comics 1000. Gorgeous cover. Look at that. Get rid of that glare. All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures #1. Is this a Canadian variant? I don't know. I know it's newsstand, but you tell me. Is that the Canadian variant? I get so confused, guys. There's so many Canadian variants out there. It boggles my mind. And you Canadian variant experts. In fact, I might do a show on Canadian variants. I have a couple of clients, friends that are very well read when it comes to Canadian variants. I think we should do an episode where we talk about them and the hottest Canadian variants to look for. So how about that? That'll be an episode on one-on-one we'll do in the upcoming weeks. Next, nice copy of X-Men 266. This sucker is the newsstand edition again. starting to gain momentum. All right, another hot one. And Jeremy finishes off his submission with a nice copy of Venom 1 Lethal Protector. That's a really clean copy. Yeah, that's a really sharp copy, actually. Anyways, thanks so much for your submission, Jeremy. Finally, let's have a look at, now this next batch actually comes to us from Tim out of Alabama, down south, and we saw some of Tim's books a couple of episodes back. He was the fellow that submitted that the X-Men #1. He also submitted several Bronze Age and modern books, and so you know what's funny is I'm still not gonna get to all of them because a couple are still in the press as we speak. But anyhow, these are majority the last part of his submission, and it starts off with an Eternals #8. Yes, guys, like I said before, I do recycle bags. If the bags are clean and the boards are clean, I recycle them when I ship them down to CGC. You know, let's save the earth, guys. Let's not, you know, use brand new bags and boards that'll be just thrown into landfills, right? So let's recycle. All right. He also submits, these are two really nice copies of Eternals #5. These are really clean copies. I anticipate nice high grades on these. Okay. On that Eternals kick, we have Eternals #2. And like I said, his Eternals #1 still in the press. I think I did show this one already. I couldn't remember, but anyways, I put it back in. I don't mind because I love this cover. Marvel Spotlight 32 with the first appearance of Spider-Woman. Another book that has heated right up and record sales in 9/8 are copies of Wolverine #1, Frank Miller's Wolverine #1. Great copies of that. And finally, is it finally? Yes, it's finally. We have a copy of, I don't think I featured one of these yet on What's in the Press. Well, if I haven't, it's been a very long time. Nova #1. Again, lots of speculation about this book. Not much talk about the Nova Corps or the Nova character or what have you. So this is another one you could probably pick up relatively cheap and high grade. I'm not saying super cheap, but you probably still, if you find one raw, you can probably still get a pretty decent deal on it before some announcement drives the prices out of this world. Right? Anyways, Nova #1. Thanks so much for your submission, Tim. Okay, now these guys, by the way, Tim, if you're watching, these babies are going off to CGC this week. That's it, my friends. Thank you so much for popping by and watching this episode of What's in the Press. If you have not done so already, please hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video. And remember, when I hit 600 subscribers, I'm giving out free pressing by me, the Comic Doctor, and grading by CGC. What do you have to lose? Hit that subscribe button. What do they? Smash that subscribe button. Is that what they say? I don't know. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for popping by. Until the next episode, take care and keep on reading them comics. Bye now.